Everyone, this is Xander Breach, and this is my weight loss journey 2, part 30. Before I go into further detail, I must go ahead and mention and ask that you would please watch the warning video, season 1, and the first 9 episodes of season 2. If you have not done these 3 things, I highly recommend you do so now. Turn off this video and do so now. Thank you. Now on with the story. So, it was April of 2007. May I remind you, I've been in school. I've had my crush on the brain. A lot was going on. And apparently, if I remember correctly, I ended up getting an MP3 player that month. And, one of my friends and roommates ended up leaving the group home I was living in to go live somewhere else, which was a bittersweet moment. And we ended up getting a new roommate that month. Maybe earlier, but I remember getting a new roommate that month and thinking to myself, okay, nice to meet you, but he was actually living in another group home, so I kind of knew him, but not quite. He was a couple years, maybe 4 years older than I am, and he was an out-of-shape guy, but he wore glasses and seemed very nerdy at the time, or how I should say respectfully, very smart. So, that same month, we were all getting ready for what would be a prom dance for people with disabilities. May I remind you, this dance was going to bring the start of romance between my crush and I. Not too much, but it's going to be the start. I, on the other hand, was extremely excited. I was thinking I was going to be able to see her. I had a smile on my face. I was glowing. I was just thrilled. And I do recall we had to dress up. I didn't mind doing that, frankly. I mean, I don't know if everyone dressed up, but I semi-quasi dressed up. Made sure I had the money I had for allowance on me because, maybe want to get some snacks or something. But what I didn't know is I was going to use that for something better. And I tell you, it was going to be a fun night. This time, I was actually going to have fun. And I remember like yesterday, we get dressed up, we get ready. I'm very excited. And we're going to San Marcos once again for this new dance. And all I can think about is, maybe this dance would make up for not having prom in high school, Because technically I didn't have prom in high school back then. But I do recall one thing that really got me thinking. Before the dance, the new guy that moved in, he had a date. Everyone, maybe a couple guys had a date. But, my night was still going to be magical, date or not. I didn't have a date, but I knew my night was still going to be magical. Or technically I didn't know that. But it was. And I do recall when we got to San Marcos, everyone's getting out of the car or the van, and we're all just getting ready to dance the night away. We were probably one of the first people to get there. We got there early. Everyone was still on their way, getting ready, whatever, and we got there early, and, my friend, maybe one of my friends, yeah, that's another thing. We had someone else move in as well. But one of the new people, I think the second new person, because I forgot to mention him in the beginning, pretty cool guy too. He already started dating someone early down the line, because I remember he came into the mix the previous month. I got to get myself in order here. But he started dating someone and he was thrilled to see her. She comes, he's like psyched out, and this guy's my roommate, so he taught me a couple things and later down the line and some new things early. I'll get to that later. But when he saw her, his date, he was real excited. I was happy for my roommate. I was like, awesome, I'm happy for you, man. And he came into the mix and he just, you know, was a perfect gentleman, and they end up getting inside, and all I can think about is, when's my crush gonna show up? I mean, I was happy for my friends, don't get me wrong. I was just thinking, when's my crush gonna show up? So, most of the night, the dance is going on, and, I'm just sitting around looking at, you know, the clock or looking around. I may have not had a watch on me, but I was just looking around and waiting for my crush to show up. And it took her a while to show up, but I just minded my P's and Q's and stayed patient. Most of the music that was playing wasn't really anything I enjoyed, and I was hoping at least maybe one song could play that I liked to help me, on my waiting period. And suddenly, there was a song that played that I liked. That song was none other than Throw Some D's by a rapper known as Rich Boy featuring Paulo da Don. And when that song played, I ended up getting up. I started dancing. And by the time the song was over, guess who showed up? She tapped on my shoulder. I was thinking, who could this be? I turn around, there she is, wearing this Cinderella-like blue gown and looking really, really beautiful. With a smile on her face. I mean, she didn't have makeup, but I gotta tell you, seeing her in that dress just blew my mind. She's like, hey Chad. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And quickly I ask, I respect, like, how's you and your hubby doing? She's like, we broke up. Cha-ching! Yahtzee! She's single again. Woohoo! And I'm saying, excuse me, and I said, why'd you two break up? And I already knew the answer, I wanted to be a gentleman. She's like, it just wasn't working out. The other day I said, to him, I want to break up with you. They went to each other. He broke up with her, I guess, first, or they both broke up with each other. It was a simultaneous thing. But just hearing they broke up, there goes my chance. But before I can get my chance in, she had a few things to say. She mentioned that there's this guy she likes in her school. Oh boy. My friend I was walking with when I first met her, before I hanged out with her, she liked. And I was thinking to myself, I'm on a waiting list. I'm about to be. And I told her, the one thing that, I'm glad I'm able to do, or I was able to do at that time, because this was something I never did when it came to trying to talk to a girl. But considering she was single, we had some time to be friends, maybe not long enough. I looked at her dead in her face and I said, I don't like no one else in the group home but you. She looked at me shocked. She's like, really? I'm like, yes. And she looked at me and said, Chad, I can't date you right now. May I remind you, just because she rejected me, I wasn't going to let my chance slip just yet. She walks away. I watch her walk away. I didn't want to come off the wrong way, so I waited until maybe a couple minutes before I went back to her, because I had to make a quick plan. I'm like thinking, Chad, you got to set an impression on this girl. You got to do whatever it takes. You got to set an impression on her. So what I did is I went to her very calmly and I'm asking her, I said, would you like something to drink or something? She looks at me and says, I don't have any money. I look at her eye to eye, say, I do. I'll get you some. She smiles, she says, all right. We wait in line. I stand there talking with her and it was a nice friendly chit chat, How's school been? How's life been for you? We really got to know each other a little bit more during that time. And by the time it was our turn to grab something to drink, all in all, here comes her friend asking her for something to drink, and she tells her friend slash housemate that I'm the one buying. So now here's the ultimate test. Am I going to get her friend something and be nice and show her that I'm still a gentleman? Or am I just going to cut this off? Well, fortunately, I let her friend get something. And when I did, it was a good idea. Because it showed her at least, I'm still a gentleman. And I don't want the staff getting on my case either. So I said, I'll do it. She wants a candy bar at first, and my crush wants a soda. I want a soda. I think I got root beer. My crush got Coca-Cola, and she got a Hershey bar. Her friend did. Well, seeing us with something to drink, her friend changes her mind. I have to take Hershey bar back. And I'm like, can I switch it for something else? Do I have to pay extra? They're like, no. Altogether, it costs like $1.50, so I really didn't care. And we switch it for a soda. And, we're just sitting there drinking soda, minding our own business, And then all of a sudden, the chicken dance comes on. So my crush is like, let's get up and start dancing. I'm like, really? We didn't even finish our soda. Thinking that. And she's like, yeah, let's go. So, didn't want to be a jerk. Me, her friend, and I, we all got together and did the little chicken dance on the dance floor. And we had fun. And even the counselor of the group home came, took a picture of us. It was a great time. Meanwhile, one of my roommates slash housemates is lying on the floor with his head on the dance floor after taking medicine, standing his date up, and it got so bad that the staff had to come and get him and let him know straight up like he couldn't do that because it was dangerous. And I'm like thinking, point well taken. But I didn't really pay attention to that. I just saw that briefly. So we get done doing the chicken dance, and then another song comes on, but her friend just doesn't want to leave. So we're dancing around once again, hoping her friend would leave just to be nice. And then still another song comes on. Her friend still doesn't want to leave. I'm like, give me some time alone with this girl, please. So next thing you know, the music stops, and now it's time for the prizes, and to let us know we can all take pictures. So I had a talk with my crush, and I said, we'll tell her to go dance somewhere else after the prizes are announced, and my crush agreed. She's like, yeah, we'll do that. So we did. Right after the prizes were announced, I didn't win anything, and I really didn't care. My prize was winning the heart of this girl I really liked. So after everything was all said and done, the music started again. We put our foot down. Her friend got mad, and eventually she found someone else to dance with, and we ended up dancing together. Me and my crush, we took a couple pictures, one making us look like we're dating, one making us look like we're friends, and it was a great night. But the one thing I'll never forget is when the song When You Look Me in the Eyes by the Jonas Brothers played. During that song, we danced slowly, my crush and I looked at her, she looked at me, and I knew I had this feeling that I'm thinking I'm in love with this girl. And what I didn't know, she felt the same way. By the time that song was over, it was time to go, and she left thinking she was in love with me. Only thing is, I didn't know. But I knew for a fact I was falling for her. That was a magical night. I was a gentleman to her. I bought her soda. I treated her with respect. I respected her wishes. I was all about respect that night. And I actually had an idea for a pretty cool song while I was at it. A really great song that I wanted to share with her. And for the next part, you will discover what those songs are and the letter I wrote to her. I don't remember exactly what I wrote. But as the night ended, we all went home, and I once again had her on the brain. And I knew I was thinking I'm in love with this girl. I hope I won her heart. So I want to end this by saying, y'all take care. God bless you.